The town of Ashfield was quiet, almost too quiet for its own good. Nestled between dark woods and hills, it had always been a place of mystery, with a history so entangled in rumors that even the oldest residents could only speculate about its true origins. But nothing intrigued visitors more than the old house on Winter Lane. The house was large, with fading white paint and darkened windows that always seemed to look back at you, no matter where you stood. It had been abandoned for decades, or so everyone thought. When Michael and Anna Green moved into the old house, they were seeking a fresh start. Newly married and eager to escape the bustling city, they had found the place at a bargain price. It was a beautiful home, despite its age. The creaky floorboards, the antique fireplace, and the sweeping staircase all made it seem like a fairy tale come true. But as the couple began to settle in, they started noticing things that didn't belong. The first night in their new home was peaceful, but by the second night, Anna awoke to a soft sound coming from the walls. It wasn't just the house settling, as she first thought. It was more like whispers, distant, soft murmurs that seemed to call her name. When she pressed her ear to the wall, the whispers grew louder, though still too muffled to make out. She pulled away in a panic, telling herself it was just her imagination running wild. But the whispers didn't stop. A growing darkness. The first few weeks in the house passed with minor disturbances. A door that wouldn't quite shut. The soft scuff of shoes across the floor when no one was around, and fleeting shadows at the corner of their vision. But as the days wore on, the strange occurrences became more pronounced. One evening, after Michael returned from work, Anna was sitting on the couch when she heard it again. Soft voices. This time they were clearer. The walls seemed to hum with an eerie energy, and the voices were almost melodic, like a lullaby sung by someone long gone. Anna had always been sensitive to the supernatural, having had strange dreams and experiences growing up. But this felt different. It was as if something or someone was trying to communicate with her. She called Michael over, but by the time he arrived, the voices stopped. He wasn't one to believe in the paranormal, always brushing off Anna's fears as overactive imagination. But something about the house unnerved him. At night, the house felt like it was holding its breath, waiting for something. One day, Anna couldn't take it anymore. She started researching the history of the house and the town. There were old newspaper clippings buried in the archives about the previous owners, the Pendleton family. They had lived in the house for nearly a century, but something had happened to them. The clippings were vague, some mentioning disappearances, others speaking of strange happenings. The most chilling piece of information Anna found was a letter written by a member of the Pendleton family to a local priest, detailing the unforgivable sin they had committed and the punishment that had been handed down to them. The letter ended with a warning. The house is alive, it listens, and it will take what it wants. Determined to uncover the truth, Anna delved deeper, visiting the local library and speaking to the oldest residents of Ashfield. One elderly woman, Mrs. Hawthorne, seemed to know more than she let on. When Anna asked about the Pendleton family, Mrs. Hawthorne's eyes darkened. She warned Anna to leave the house before it was too late, but she wouldn't explain further. The secrets of the Pendleton family. Anna couldn't shake the feeling that something was watching her, listening to her every move. It wasn't just the whispers anymore. Every time she passed a mirror, her reflection seemed to linger a moment too long. The house seemed to shift, as if it were alive, its walls breathing in time with her own heartbeat. One night, unable to sleep, Anna went into the attic to investigate further. The attic was dusty and cramped, filled with old furniture, covered in sheets and crates filled with forgotten belongings. She carefully opened one of the crates, her heart racing as she unearthed old journals belonging to the Pendleton family. The journals were filled with strange accounts of their lives in the house. One entry described a ritualistic practice in which the family members would speak with the voices in the walls. Another entry mentioned an old pact made by the first Pendleton ancestor, who had summoned something dark into the house, something that required blood. As Anna read further, she discovered the horrifying truth. The Pendleton family had been involved in dark rituals, sacrificing both animals and humans to an ancient entity in exchange for wealth and prosperity. The entity had granted them power, but in return it required a constant offering, one that could never be refused. When the Pendletons attempted to break the pact, they were cursed. The house itself became a prison for their souls, and each generation of the family would hear the whispers in the walls, driven to madness by the voices until they too became part of the sacrifice. Suddenly, Anna heard a loud crash from below. Michael had come upstairs to find her, but the moment their eyes met, she saw something in his expression that froze her to the core. It wasn't her husband standing before her. The man in the doorway was someone else, someone with hollow, sunken eyes. His voice was not Michael's. "Anna," it whispered, "I am not your husband." Before Anna could react, the figure lunged at her. She screamed and scrambled backward, knocking over an old crate. As she fell to the ground, her head slammed into the floor. The world around her blurred. The Uwakos. When Anna regained consciousness, she found herself in the living room, sitting alone in front of the fireplace. The thing was gone. Michael too had disappeared. The house was silent now, the whispers gone. But Anna knew they were still there, lurking in the walls, waiting for the right moment to return. As she wandered through the house in search of Michael, she stumbled upon an old painting hidden behind a bookshelf. It was of the Pendleton family, though the faces were scratched out, only their dark silhouettes remained. One figure stood out, a tall man in the center, his face hidden in shadows. The words scrawled beneath the painting were chilling. "He who listens will never leave." Anna knew what she had to do. She had to break the curse before it consumed her, as it had the Pendleton family. But the house, as old and haunted as it was, wasn't going to make it easy. The walls seemed to close in around her, the floorboards creaking as if the house itself was alive and watching her every move. In her final confrontation with the house's dark force, Anna confronted the entity that had haunted the Pendletons. It wasn't a single spirit, but a collective force made of all the souls sacrificed throughout the centuries. The whispers were their voices, begging for release. But Anna had to make a terrible choice: sacrifice herself to free the trapped souls, or allow the entity to consume her and Michael, trapping them within the walls forever. With the full knowledge of what she had to do, Anna made the ultimate sacrifice. As she gave herself to the entity, the whispers died away. The house fell silent, its walls no longer alive with the cries of the lost. And though Anna was gone, her sacrifice allowed the trapped souls to find peace at last, breaking the curse of the Pendleton family. Epilogue. Years passed, and the house on Winter Lane was abandoned once again, though this time it remained undisturbed. The whispers were gone, but the memory of the horrors that took place there would never fade. The town of Ashfield moved on, but some things never truly leave. For the souls trapped within the walls, there would always be a restless silence, and the house on Winter Lane would forever be a reminder of the price of uncovering the darkest secrets.